Get the stream going here. And that sound just told me the stream is going, and I got the alert on the screen. I really like this Zoom. I mean, you can do so many things with this. Okay, let me go ahead and get that off. And we're going to get rocking and rolling here. Welcome, everybody, to Wednesday night training. It's good to see everyone. Good to have you on board. And looking forward to another good night. We're going to go into the platform again tonight. We're just about done. And very excited about tonight. It's as I was saying right before we went live on the recordings. It's my favorite part of the platform. I call it my canvas. I was never an artiste. I can't draw a stick man. I colored outside the lines. I pretty much just sucked at any type of artwork. And with this allows me to get extremely creative and create what I consider my art to the world when I create the web apps and do the coloring and the color matching and the logos and putting everything together. So I really love creating mobile web apps for that very reason. It gives me a chance to express myself in so many different ways. And I've said this before, you can look at many people's apps and you can see their personalities. Every app is different, but you can tell when it's that person's app. It's their signature. They do it what they do, and it's like Mike Cahill. I can spot Mike Cahill's apps anywhere. It's just one of those things that you're proud of when someone calls you and says, "Hey, man, this is really amazing. This is really nice. This is beautiful. Thank you so much." That's it. Of course, we love getting paid, but there's no greater compliment than someone telling you how great your apps look. So, but we're going to get rolling here. Welcome again to our Wednesday night training presented by the Appwizard Studio. Real quick, a couple of housekeeping things. If you would go to Facebook, to facebook.com/groups/AWS Mastermind. It is really a great place to be. That is where our family meets daily. And if you want questions answered, if it's not a tech question that needs something fixed, usually the answer is in that group. And most people, especially those that have been around for a while, can help answer your questions. Real quick disclaimer, Appwizard Studio nor I cannot guarantee just because you are watching training, you will make any sales, create any traffic, or increase your income. Every person is different, has a different work ethics and different desires. So we're going to go right into, let me move this over and let me move this over. And I am going to go right into the screen. I need to switch screens, I think. And yeah. I may be able to do this tonight and just make it smooth. Can everybody see the Appwizard Studio screen now? You should be able to see the Appwizard Studio screen. And yes, you can. Awesome. I need to move my other computer screen around. I've got the chat box on the wrong side and my peripheral vision is missing. And what's going on? So, but we're going to go right into the apps. We have literally gone through every single button. Excuse me, and I'm going to get choked to death. Through every button in this platform. Tonight, we're going to go in and we are going to take a look at coloring the app. We're going to go to settings. Last week, we talked about the title and description, the icon, the share image. After we did the share image, about 30 of the people that was on the call that didn't ask any questions asked a ton of questions afterwards. My phone went crazy. And so I'm going to just step through this once again. What you need to do is you need to upload an image. This is the image that actually shows on Facebook. It gives a specific size here, 1200 pixels by 630 pixels. Now, there's one thing you need to understand about this, and this was the question I had after the training, after we went through everything, is how come it keeps taking me to Facebook? When you click on the Facebook share image, and let me just show you here. When you click on the Facebook share image, this actually takes you to Facebook. When it takes you to Facebook, it's not going to do it in here because it's inside the emulator. But it's going to actually take you out of the app and take you into Facebook. This feature has nothing to do with the function of the app, okay? And so what you want to understand is this is going to take you into Facebook. If you are not logged into Facebook and or have the Facebook app on your phone, you're not going to connect. The mobile web app that you've designed is not going to send out that image. It's not going to send anything to Facebook. You're going to connect to Facebook. It's going to take you into Facebook, and it's going to take you into a share section of Facebook, and you are going to share the web app. And then you physically have to back out of Facebook and go back to the web app. So that was the massive questions I had after training last week. You can see that we've really screwed this app up good over the last couple of weeks. And but we're going to fix this, and I'm going to show you how to go in, and we're going to make this look really nice and do some things with it. So let's go back over to settings. We talked about the header and the footer. A couple of questions I had after training last week. No, Kenny will have me the that to be probably in the next couple of days. Let me turn my phone off. My master the person that constantly says, "Hey, are we having training?" Texted me and said, "Are we having training?" That person is probably on the phone. So anyway, the images have to be 500 wide or a multiple thereof. Okay, 500, 1,000, 1,500, whatever it is. But I make my images 500 wide, okay, 500 wide by somewhere. A business card is about 500 by 270 tall, okay. When you cut the business card out, when you scan it, then you cut it out, it's about 500 wide by 270. So hang on just 1 second. I posted the link in the Facebook group, right? That's what I just told them. I posted it today. But anyway, 500 by 270, all right? So you want to make sure that your images match sizes when you place two images in here. If one is shorter than the other, and you can see this on this card, these two images match up right here, but you can, this is actually the background right here. So if there was a background color other than this, you can see that the images don't match up in size. When you overlay two images, you simply upload two images here, add new image, upload the image, and you can upload as many as you want. I was also asked numerous times about how many images should you upload? 3 or 4. Okay, 3 or 4. So I would not do more than that. And to set the timing is in image settings right here. 2 seconds is what I set mine at. It doesn't sound like a long time, but if you will set your set your images up and actually bring it up on the phone, you can see that 2 seconds is a long time. So for every image you put up there is 2 seconds. So if you put 5 images up there, that's 10 seconds. 10 seconds looking at a screen is a lifetime. Someone's not going to sit there and watch 5 different images. So 2 or 3, 2 to 4 seconds, 6 seconds. Yeah, 6 seconds is even pushing it. You could bring it down to 1 second, and that would take it out to where your images are up for 1 second, and then they're going to rotate. 1 second is pretty quick. They can still kind of get the gist if it's just maybe a quick 50% off ad or something like that. But 2 seconds is what I set mine at, and that's what I recommend. And no more than 3 cards. 4 cards is really pushing it. 3 is. And this is where you change the transition. It says transition right here. One of the more popular is the doors. I get a lot of compliments on the doors. And what this really does is this changes this to a GIF or a GIF or however you say that, a GIF image. It puts the magic in there, and it really sets up a nice GIF image in your header. Very, very popular. These, if you're not doing these, we charge for this. Okay, we charge for this. So we charge $49 to do this, and I've done a ton of them. Okay, it is a great upsell. Your clients use it. Some of the clients we do are, as you can see here, this is a Hispanic card in Spanish. We do a lot of, especially your tire shops are Spanish, and they'll have a Spanish card and an English card, and they want both cards in there. So it's pretty cool. You just lay them over top of each other, collect a $50 bill, set up the transition, and upload it. Works very, very well. And it's very easy to do. Any questions on the images right there and or the Facebook share image before we go on? At all? Anybody? Yes, no, indifferent? Okay. The app search, had a couple of questions on this. This is the app search, and what we learned last week is the app search actually searches for the title. If a button is turned off, this will not find it. Okay, so maybe you've got a restaurant and that one of the titles is hamburgers. If that's turned on, it will find it. If it's turned off, it will not find it. So even if you've got buttons that are in your platform, I can't think what that show is, but it goes. That's what I feel like sometimes when I wait on these pages to change. Right here in your links, if it's turned off, it's not going to find it. Okay, it's not going to find it. Now I know who watches TV. Everybody's throwing up Jeopardy on the screen there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to turn app search off because I don't want to use it. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it off as we get in here, and we're going to start coloring up our app. And let's see if there's anything else I want to turn off. I'm going to turn off the footer bar because I don't want that shown on the front of the screen. And the reason I don't want it shown on the front of the screen is because it says home and previous. If you're on the home screen, there's really nowhere to go previous, and you're already home. So I usually turn that off. And I'm going to set this up just like I would be setting up one of my apps. So we can come down here to the tab bar, and we're going to go, and we're going to say from all pages to only subpages. A subpage is every page except the home page. You can also put it only on the home page, or you can turn it off completely, or all pages. And I like when I use the home button and the previous button, because you're already there, I put it only subpages. I'm going to hit save. Let's reload this. And you can see it's gone now. Okay. The desktop site. Link to desktop website. I'm going to take that out. And if they've got, let me just say why again. If they've got a nice responsive site, okay, if it's actually mobile responsive and it looks good, that would be awesome. But you guys didn't have any trouble getting in tonight, right? Everybody got in okay? Okay, somebody's having trouble getting in. I've asked them who it is 3 times. They won't say so. But anyway, this is responsive. Okay, if it's responsive, it's okay to put it down there. But if it's not responsive and it looks, pardon this, how I'm going to say this, but if you look at it and it looks like crap, okay, on their phone, and they just say, man, I'd really like to have that there because I spent a lot of money for it. Don't worry if you're going to hurt somebody's feelings. Show them that it's not going to do them any good, and it's actually going to drive people away because people cannot read it, they can't see it, and it's really useless. It may be the most beautiful website in the world, but if it's not responsive, try to steer them away in a professional way. Don't tell them it looks like crap, but in your mind, you already know, man, this looks terrible. I really don't want to do this because it's going to take away from all the work that's put into this app, and people are going to click on that and they're going to go away. So we're going to take it away. I don't even let people know we can do that. All right. If they want your website in there, I put it in the content. You'd be amazed at the number of people websites aren't responsive. Is Michael Cahill on tonight? That must be Michael. That must be Mike Cahill right there. He tells them it looks like crap. How many non-responsive sites do you come across, Michael? I know it's a bunch. It's amazing how many sites are not responsive even after Google Mania or whatever they called that a couple of years ago. I mean, major sites are not Google ready. I mean, they're not Google friendly. So yeah, still a lot. Yeah, I know it's crazy. It's crazy. And I talked to a guy the other day, and he's with a very large web company out in Arizona, and they've got over 4,000 sites. And I mean, they're still struggling to get all their sites mobile responsive. And they've been sued several times because they wanted a bunch of money to do. I mean, it's just a mess. And I'm so thankful I'm not in that. I'm not in that business. So thankful I'm not in that business. So you can see here when we took that away, the developed by Appwizard Studio. If you have our branded package, it would say developed by your company down here. And this is a hot link, okay, that brings up your information right here. And that's a very good thing. And I'm going to show you how to put that on there. But do you see how the home and previous page came up? Now I can go back to the previous page. And I'm also going to take out that second image, that second header image. Let's just take that out so it doesn't drive us nuts, actually. And I'm going to remove that. Does everybody see how easy it is just to go in here and make changes and get everything right where you want it to be? It's so simple to do. I've said this 1,000 times over the last 5 years. Don't be afraid to turn something on and off. You're not going to tear it up. Okay. I remove that. And I'm going to go ahead and remove this title bar because I wouldn't use it. So let's just turn it off completely. I am going to leave my click here for coupons up here. This is what I call my call to action section. I usually use this for all my call to actions. And I read a very interesting article. As a matter of fact, I think Michael Cahill was the one that posted it in the group about reading from left to right, top to bottom. And it gave the psychology about people in the United States and different parts of the world, and why you should start at the top with your most important message and left to right. But it gave a great psychology, which we all knew it anyway, right? But it kind of opened my mind, well, you know what? If I'm going to do a call to action, my call to action needs to be the first thing they read, because that's really one of the most important things on this website, on this mobile web app, is this call to action right here. Because why? I want them to sign up for those coupons so that I can stay engaged with them and work with them. And that's the reason I do that. I used to not do that until I read that article that someone posted in the group. It was about the psychology of setting up a web page. And it was really, really, really good. And it's been probably 3 years ago, maybe, or longer. And when I read that, I said, wow, that opened my eyes. And I started teaching that method, put your call to action from left to right. If you're using the title bar and you're putting buttons over here, you want to put your most important button here and then across. So it's very important that you reach out and you hit those triggers in people's brains when you're building these mobile web apps. And I mean, you don't got to be a psychologist. It's really more common sense than anything else. Okay, so our app's starting to take shape, right? I mean, we're starting to pull it together. We got that ugly green on there. Actually, that green looks pretty good if it matched up with everything else. So now we're going to come in and we're going to start coloring our app. So let's go to settings. Let me talk about one thing real quick. Does everybody see the triangle right here? Does everybody see the triangle? Let me explain how this triangle works. I have a lot of people, and I think Vic actually started the dialogue in the group. Somebody used a QR code scanner. They scanned the app through a QR code, and it opened it up in the QR code browser, and you weren't able to save the app to the home screen from that browser. And of course you can't, because that browser is not activated to do that. Those QR code browsers are actually activated to send you advertisements. They're all on the bottom and the top, and the pop-ups and all that stuff. They're made for ads, okay? The free ones are. There are some good ones out there. I've got one on my iPhone. It's ad-free, and it works very well with the iPhone, but it still opens up in its own browser, okay? It doesn't use a phone's browser. So if you've got an iPhone, okay, irregardless of even if you have Google Chrome on that iPhone, it's going to recognize that you're on an iPhone when you click on this. And it's going to show you the little page with the up arrow on the bottom of the phone. Now, they may use Google Chrome as their primary browser on that phone. This doesn't look for the primary browser. It looks for the browser that comes with the phone, okay? If Google Chrome is your browser on Android, which they are on almost every Android, some of the older phones before Android and Google got together and adopted the Chrome-based browsers on the Android phones, they used to have their own little browsers, okay? And if that was the case, if those phones are still out there, this will recognize that browser. Now, some of the older browsers do not allow you to save the icon to the home screen. What it will do is it will add a bookmark to the home screen, and it looks like a little flag. How many of you remember when we first started with mobile web apps, and we were so far ahead of the techno curve with our technology that the phones had to catch up with us? But the majority of phones would not save the icon. And one of our biggest support tickets was, we can't get these to save the icon to the home screen. It works on some phones. It doesn't work on others. Has nothing to do with the mobile web app. It has everything to do with the browsers, okay? So if you're on an Android phone and this shows you, and I haven't had an Android phone in a while, but this used to show you the three little dots up here on top of the browser. You would click on that and it would say save to home screen. I know for a while they did an update to Google Chrome on Android and it took that capability away. Is that still the case, or can you still awesome, Antonio. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It says Woodrow on the thing there. My name is Kerry Miller, and I want to welcome you to our family. And hope you're doing well up in Denver, Colorado. But I'm your trainer each and every Wednesday night. We hope that you're here every single Wednesday. Yes, and they have added it back. Awesome, awesome. So you can do that now. But don't get confused when you're out in the field and you're explaining this. If they're on an iPhone, this is talking about Safari. If you're on an Android and the primary on the Android that came with the phone is Google Chrome, it will take you to Google Chrome. If you're on an older phone, it's going to take you to the browser of that phone, and it will tell you what to do. If it can't save, there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, if it cannot save, I'm not seeing any new phones that you can't save it to. All right. And when I say new phones, I'm talking Note 4 and above. The Note 4 worked perfect. My Note 5 worked great. I didn't get the 7 or whichever one was blowing up. That's when I went to iPhone, and it works perfect on iPhone. So don't let it confuse you. This works with the browser of the phone. Okay, it doesn't. If you scan with a QR code, that takes you out of the browser. I know I beat that horse to death, but it's been being beat for about 2 weeks now. So I want to make sure everybody gets that. Okay. Footer, we went through that. Okay, now let's get on down here to, and this is where you turn the home screen triangle on right here. You can turn it on and you can turn it off. All right. Now let's come into my most favorite part in the world. Okay, this is the styles and colors. This is where you make everything happen from. Now, you see here we have the simple. You can change the header, the footer. You can do everything from right here. Okay, it's very quick if you want to do that. But what we're going to look at tonight is we're going to look at the advanced. And we're going to go through every single button here. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to look at the header. Okay, look at the header. I'm not sure who this is here. I just tell them to go to YouTube. That's the only thing I know to tell them to do here. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the background. Now, the background for the header covers everything from the top of this tab bar or button bar or whatever you have right here, covers this entire area. All right. From here to the top of the page. And this is where you set your color. Now, if you've got a nice background image in there and you want that background image to shine through, and you've got a ping image here and you want it to be seen, you can go transparent and whatever. And let me put a quick background image in there because I want you to be able to see this. Maybe I'm doing a roofer app, okay? And I want And my logo would look real good over this shake roof right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, and it doesn't matter what color you have up here, I'm going to take this and I'm going to make it completely transparent. And then if I had a nice ping image right here that was transparent, it would overlay right on top of this background. And you would be able to see the background come through the header image. Okay. So it's a really cool feature. Don't use it often, but I've used it. I have used it and it works out great for some things. Sometimes it doesn't. Usually landscapes and things like that is when I usually use it, or maybe a mountainscape or something like that if I've got that as a background for RV companies and stuff like that. So, but we're going to shut it down completely, okay? And let's see. I'm going to make this right here yellow. Now, I use it. Can you guys see my Colorzilla up here at the top? Does the screen show all the way up? Yes, okay. This is called Colorzilla. Just simply go to Colorzilla for Chrome. Can everybody see my Colorzilla screen now? I changed screens. Can everybody see that? Did it change over? Okay. So just type in Colorzilla. Go to Colorzilla for Chrome. And you're going to be able to install Colorzilla right here. 2.0 is really awesome. 1.0 is great. 2.0 is really cool. I've already got it installed and I've got it up here and it comes right up here and it puts it right here in the toolbar. Okay. And that's what I'm going to use to pick my colors with. If you ever wonder what I use, I've used Colorzilla forever. It actually started out on Firefox and they did make a Chrome extension. So I'm going to pull up Colorzilla. Now you can see here, it brings up my page color picker and it brings up my little crosshairs. And I don't know if you can see the little black box in the middle, but the little black box in the middle is 3 pixels by 3 pixels. I can actually come up here and set my pixel size depending on what I want to pull and what colors I want to use. I usually use a 3 pixel by 3 pixel. That gives me a good enough shade to color match. But I'm going to pull the yellow that's on this card. If you can see, actual yellow is FFF000. So we're going to pull the yellow off of this. This is a little bit different. So, but we want it to match the card, right? So I'm going to come up and I'm going to make my background. I'm going to click on the background and there's three little bars here. It looks like little sliders. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to simply cut. I've already copied. I'm going to paste that yellow right inside my background for my header. Now you can see this pretty much blends. There's a little bit of this orange that's faded in right here, but you get right here in the middle and you can't see any blend at all. Where the starburst quits, you can't see any blend at all. So that picked up that color very, very well. So now we're going to go up here and we're going to go to the button bar. And we want that to stand out, right? Because that's our call to action. And I like to use colors that are in the logo itself. That way you keep everything color coordinated. And this works out really well because I can have a yellow background. And I can go to my color picker. Oops, picked the wrong thing. Pick color from page. And I'm going to pull this red off right here. Okay, and that's not a true red. You can see up there. So we're going to pick that red off. And I'm going to make my button bar, the background color, I'm going to make it red. So it pops, right? And I'm going to put a border around it. Let's go with the blue. We're just going to use this blue here just for time's sake. All right. And then I'm going to make my text and icon. I'm going to make it white so it stands out. Now, if you'll notice right here, you got text style. You can make them metallic. And or you can make them bold. I usually don't use bold a lot, but for the call to action up here, I like to use bold. Now, selected background is the background of the button, okay? What you want to do is I like to color coordinate that also. And right now it's blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that, I'm going to make it black to match the black tires. You can see it turns black and it really highlights what you've done there, okay? So we've got our border color on there. We've got our background color. We've got our selected background color. We made the text weight bold, the text style normal. You can go all the way up to the font size 15 right here. And this, you can round the corners. I don't like to put a lot of round on it. Just a little bit to show it's there, okay? And you can configure the font. Now, I'm not going to configure the font because there are literally, I think there's 10,000 or 15,000. There's an unbelievable amount of fonts in here. And it takes a long time for them to load, especially when I'm on a call. So we're just going to leave the fonts exactly where they are. I don't think maybe on 2 apps I've ever changed the font, ever, okay? So, and that's because the customer asked for a specific font to match his card, and it happened to be in there. All right. Any question on the button bar? Setting up the button bar up here in the header. Any questions at all? I'm going to get rid of this background because it does not match this app. Okay. Now, for example here, I don't want this background in here. I'm going to remove it. Okay. Yes, remove. Hit save. Make it a habit of saving after every single event, just in case. Now we're going to go to the tab bar. This is the tab bar. Remember, we talked about the tab bar and the button bars and the title bars. The tab bar runs all the way from east to west, okay, east to west. And it covers the entire top row. So we're going to come in here to the tab bar. And we're going to make these buttons red. And I'm going to put a black border color. See, now if you'll notice, when I set up my headers and my footers, the colors save so that you can use them throughout the app, okay? Text color, we're going to go ahead and go with white again, all right? And selected background, we'll go with the black. Now you can see here, I use the yellow up here at top, and I use the, this has got blue right here, which separates this red down right there. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that background yellow. All right. So I've changed the background to yellow. And you've got nice separation. You literally have, with the exception of these grays right here, and I'm fixing to pull off some of this gray off of this truck, you have every single color of this logo on this app right now. You've got the blues, you've got the reds, you've got the yellows. You've literally color coordinated this whole app, okay? But we're not going to stop there. Now, one thing I like to do, because I keep everything consistent, is right here. You don't have to come down and redo and hope that everything matches. Just use header colors. Say yes. And you can see here when that pops up, the footer colors match the header colors. Okay. And we have a nice consistency on the app. Now, you guys may color totally different than I do. You may use images different than I do, and that's great. I recommend creativity. I'm just huge on color matching. That's one of my pet peeves. Content body. Okay, we've set the header and the footer. Are there any questions on the header and the footer at all? Any questions at all? Anybody? All right, we will roll on. Okay, content body. You're going to get phone calls, okay, that says, I can't see the text. And that's because you've probably put a black background in and the text color is black or something like that. And let me give you an example here. Let's just change this background to black real quick. We're not going to leave it there. And your customer's going to call and they're going to say, I can't see any of the writing on my app. All right, let me make one more change here. And they don't see the writing on the app. That's because you've got a black background and you've got to change your text color. This will happen often. It does for me anyway. Okay, it does for me. So this is a button bar. This is a button bar right here. And you can move these wherever you want on the page. Okay. All right. So you've got your black text turned on. So you want to change that text. Let's go back to the yellow background so we can stay consistent here. All right. So let's go to a content body. And when I go to my content body, the first page I always go to is my address. All right. You can make it, take the transparency out. You can see here that the background color is white. We can make the background color yellow. Or we can take the transparency down. We can make the background color black. Okay. Let's bring the transparency back up. And you can see it fills it in nicely. And that is probably something I would do. Now, if you've got a video, I want you to remember this. If you've got a video on the front page and you have the content box up there, you're going to have a content box around your video. Okay. You will have a content box around your video. All right. So we're going to leave that black and we'll leave our text white. That gives us a good contrast. All right. Now you can see here that these are blue in here, these links. On a phone, they will actually be the color of the text that you use. Okay. They will actually be the color of the text that you use. So if you're using white, these links will also be white and they'll still be hot. All right. They'll still be hot. So now we're going to come up and let's see here. We've got our transparency set. We've got our content spacing set. Let me go into that real quick. I'm going to touch every one of these buttons. We finish tonight, great. If we don't, that's fine too. Content spacing. See how it brings in the box and it puts your padding on both sides here? I can take it all the way to 0 and it goes side to side. Put about 10 pixels in there. Content padding. Okay, this is inside the box itself. All right, this is inside the box. So you can move the padding down. We'll do the same thing. We'll keep it about a 10. All right. Border radius. This is your radius of the outside box. You can make it completely round. There again, I don't like a complete round border. So, all right. Border style. Now let's say I want to put a border on here. I'm going to bring a border in and I'm going to make my border color. We'll make that red. Okay. Now I put a nice border around here. All right. You can see that it affected my padding just a little bit because I put that border in there. Let me bring the size down just a little bit. Now I can do a couple of things. I can change it to whatever I want. If I want to put a dot there, a dash, solid, groove. I really like the groove. I don't know if you can see this on your screen. If you see this with your screen, this looks like it's raised, and it looks really, really cool. I do this a lot with my icon buttons, and I mean, it just really pops off the screen, especially with the HD screens on phones today. Really, really, really looks nice. Okay, that's one of my go-tos. Ridge does the same thing. Ridge is a little more smoother. Inset, you can see it offsets the colors, darkens the left, keeps the right side the same color. Outset just pulls it in opposite. Okay, just changes which side the colors are set. So we'll leave it at ridge. We'll put a ridge up there. We got our background color set. We got our text color set. Once again, you can change your font, configure your fonts. You can change the font style, and you can change the font size. Now, sometimes you'll get these guys, they'll have a website that's like 6,000 characters long. The only way you can combat that is change the font size. You can pull your borders all the way out, your spacing all the way out, your padding all the way out. But if it's really long, the only way to keep it from wrapping is to change the font size. And you really don't want to bring font down on the phone lower than 14. It really needs to be about 16, okay? That's a Google recommended font size for mobile. So 16 is a good size. So if you can keep it at 16, great. But I tell you, I've seen some URLs, man, that are like unbelievable. And once again, when you're doing this, and I recommend just build you an app like we did during training and literally start up here and hit every single button. It doesn't do you really any good to call me and say, hey, what does this button do? I mean, it does what it does. Take the button, move the slider. You're not going to tear anything up. Take a screenshot of where everything's set and then put it back to where it was, okay? But the best thing you can do, the best training I could ever give you is to tell you, go in and play with it. All right. Main links. Now, we showed you last week where we set these up and with the pre-made buttons. All right. I'm going to take this all the way back to where they would be if you were just sitting here looking at them. All right. This is what a raw button looks like. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up here to settings. Okay. Go to settings. You can change the width of the button. You can change the height of a button. You can change the border size of the particular button. You can change the radius of each button. You can change the border colors of each button. This is something that I get asked about. Let me put a border on here real quick. You can put multiple borders on a button, and you can see now it's every other button. Let's come up here, and I'm going to pull this blue off here just because I want to keep this. So now you can see I go red, black. Let me bring this in. You can see the red, black, blue, red, black, blue. Maybe I wanted to start with blue so I can move this up. You can see the little arrow here. So I can put that border all the way around that button. All right. We'll just keep it like that for right now. I can change the width percentage. Now I can tell you on some phones, width means absolutely nothing. Okay. Width means absolutely nothing. On some phones, they're going to go all the way across. You can't, it will not adjust the HTML for the width. It's just, there again, some of the phone technology is not caught up with the mobile web app technology. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come down to the content. Any questions on main links, content, body, footer, or header? Any questions at all? Anybody while we're here? Now we're going to come down here. We're going to go back to main links. We're going to go to the icon content box. Now here again, you can see the exact same thing. Okay. You can change the transparency. If I want to take the white out, which is where it's set now, it's a little bit of an off-white, a kind of a gray. I can change the box size. When I change the box size, you can see right here, it changes the entire box of the button. So I want to bring that back down. All right, let's bring that back down. I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to put a little bit of space in between these. Right about there. Go back to icon. And we're going to change the background color. So I'm going to go, yes. I'm going to go, let's say we're going to go red. What are they? Red, black, and blue. Okay. Now you can see the icon boxes here match up with the colors I did. And if you'll see, they're just the exact opposite because I switched them the opposite while ago. So I've got red with the blue, black with the red, blue with the black. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to put a little bit of radius and border on these. And I'm going to make those yellow. And I'm going to put just a little bit of radius on those. Now you see that I've got my radius on here. I've put some radius on. I changed the border color here to yellow. And so I've kind of got something going on here. All right. Everything color matches. Everything kind of looks good. Now let's come up here to the icon. This is something I like to do because this adds just a little bit of, I don't know, ambiance or something. It adds something special to the app. I'm going to put another border inside this app. I'm going to make it about the same size here. All right. Now I'm going to make this yellow. Remove the color. Let's make that yellow. And I'm going to turn this into a ridge. All right. And let's come up here to this icon content box. Let's do the same thing right here. All right. So now I've got my ridge on the outside and the inside. And it gives me a little offset. It gives me a little coloring right here. Let me go back down to my icon. Bring the padding out just a little bit. And I'm going to change the icon color to white. So I've come in and I've put, now I want you to see something. The icon content box, okay, the icon content box and the icon itself, the border on the icon itself is here. The icon content box is the outer boundaries here, okay? So you've got two different parts of the icon. You've got the content box, and then you've actually got the icon, and the icon allows you to put another border inside of the icon box. All right? Any questions at all? Any questions at all? You're talking about when you get down here. I know exactly what you're talking about. When you get down here and you've put your colors, you've picked your colors, and maybe you did it up here in the header, but then you come down here to settings and you pick a color and you go to add that color and it's not here. Is that what you're talking about? Vic? Yes, it's not there. And if you'll notice that blue is not here. Where these colors come from is your header and footers colors. So this is what I do when I get ready to build an app. Even if I don't use the colors in the header and the footer, I go ahead and set up my entire color palette for the entire app. And I'm not sure why it does that, but let me remove that. But unless you set it up in the header and the footer, you can set them up in the header. I put all my colors, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Let me go ahead and set this blue in here. Okay. Okay. There's my blue 12569D. All right. There's my blue. All right. When I come up to the tab bar, I click on that, it turns blue. Okay. You saw it there for just a second. It's not going to connect because I'm on a computer. Now, let me show you something. I bet you didn't think I had an answer for that, did you, buddy? Let's come back down here to main links. Now, if I come down to add a color, guess what's there? My blue color. So if you want to set up your entire color palette, set it up under your header button. Even if you're not going to use the colors for the header, that way it puts it and fills in the complete color palette. All right. If you'll do that, you'll never have another problem. Then they will show all the way through. Hopefully that explained it. Let's see. Where did I leave off text content box, I think? Okay, the text content box. These are all basically this exact same thing. Holder size. Sometimes you want to make the holder a little smaller. Maybe if you got 3 buttons on there, you want to make the holder a little bigger. It's all about preference. I can take out the colors. I can maybe, let's say I want to make that black. Okay, but I want to make it kind of, maybe I've got a background on here or something. Let me go ahead and show you this real quick. Let me find something that will show through. Okay, maybe I've got a nice grass background back here, but I want to use some white text. Okay, so let me come up here to my main links, to my content box. I can change the background transparency here. Okay, so I want to use some white text. And in order for that to show up good, I need to put just a little bit of coloring on that background. And I selected black. I can select any color I want. Because you can see it doesn't show up real well there. Maybe I want to make it blue. Okay, and all it does is adjust the transparency there of that color. Really, really nice feature if you've got a nice background and you want it to show through. Maybe you've got a motorcycle shop or something like that, or maybe this truck and tires is in the background here, and you want that to show through. But that allows you to do that. You can do the same thing with the buttons and everything also, with the icons. All right. So we'll make that black. And I'm going to remove the grass. Let me cut the lawn real quick. And simply, once again, just come in and remove it. Okay, and I've got a nice yellow background. Okay, now this white wouldn't show up very good on that yellow, so I'm gonna leave that like that. I'm gonna leave that just a nice tint. Okay. We're in the text content box. Now, there's a couple things you can do here that really make it look cool. You can put a border around the whole thing, and or you can go by side. So let's do the left side. Let's do the top. All right, we'll put them both at about a 4. All right, we're going to make them red. Now I'm going to put some radius on the buttons. And I'm going to make that a ridge. And it makes it pop. Okay, it makes it pop out. So now you got a nice ridge around this, and it just covers the top and the bottom. It kind of gives it a hook feel. I use that a lot. I like it, so I use it. All right. So now you've got your buttons, all your text, everything set up. And all you do is come in and slide a few sliders and add some color. All right, and add some color. Very easy to do. Any questions at all? Any questions at all? All right, we're going to roll on. I couldn't remember if we had a slide menu on here. I don't remember what that was. Okay, slide menu. Let me turn one on real quick. I'm just going to drop this in the on the tab bar just so you guys can see it. Now I've got so much crap on here I can't. Slide menu. Let me take off tire shop. I don't know what the heck that is. Okay. So I can show you how to set up the slide menu. Okay, here's your slide menu. And you can see it's got that pukey green on there. And we're going to come right here and we're going to slide menu links. Now, this is almost identical to what we just did. We've got our settings. We can adjust our width. We can adjust our spacing. We can adjust our height. We can adjust our border sizes. For this, I'm not going to put a border on, but I am going to adjust the border radius. We're going to remove this color. And I'm going to change this back border color real quick. I'm going to put it yellow. All right, let me change the background color. You can see it's that gray. We're going to make this the red. So it gives a little bit of offset. Now we're going to come down to the content box. We're just going to zero it out. Remove this background color. We'll make it yellow. Leave the icons black. We'll make the border color blue. We'll give it a ridge. And then we'll come down and we're not gonna, you can do the same thing. You can put an icon, you can put the box around the icon again if you want. We wouldn't do that. We're gonna go to the text content box. We're gonna put a full border around it. We're going to give it a nice radius. Let's back it off just a little bit so it's in those corners. I don't know if you can see up here, but you can see a little bit of the red through. So we're gonna back it off just a little bit to get rid of the red. Border style, we'll do another ridge. Border color, we'll remove the gray. We will add the blue. And the background color, let's just remove it completely. And we'll make the text color white. And it's no different than setting up anything else. Okay, no different than setting up anything else. And you've got your menu set up. Once again, do not be afraid to mess with your app. Okay, let's hit save. Let me see what's next. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to stop at slide menu links, and we will pick up with forms. I'm going to go through forms in pretty good detail. Photo gallery, we'll set up the photo gallery, your image size, your border size. I'm going to throw some pictures in. That way we can do that next week. And so we will start with forms next week. And the rest of this stuff will move very quickly. So any questions at all? Any questions at all on setting up the colors here? Anybody? All right. Well, we'll call her a stop right there. We will start with forms next week. I want to go through forms. I want to build out a form and do some different things with the forms. There's several things to set up. Same thing with the photo gallery. Get asked this question all the time about the pictures and the image size and everything. That's all done right here in the styles and colors. And then everything else is pretty much easy breezy. All right. All right. Thanks everybody for coming out. I hope this helps you. You really need to take these videos over the last 3 or 4 weeks and save them, put them somewhere, and make sure that you have access. We've literally gone through every single button in this platform in 3 weeks. So next week will be the 4th, and we'll pretty much wrap it up as far as building out these apps. So it's been very, very good. Have had great response. Have people watching these trainings. Thank you, Don. And I've had people watching these trainings that are building killer apps now. Okay. I mean, just knock out of the park apps. Real quick, if you're new, oops, wrong spot. Let me get out of this. One of the best trainings on apps that you can get a hold of is right here in the help and support. Go to trouble tickets. I kind of did the same thing with the little more advanced app, but it shows you every single button once again. Click here to attend boot camp, and you will be able to walk through step by step over my shoulder on how to build an app. So if you don't want to wait on the rest of the training, or you don't want to go, this is on building an app specifically without any of the other stuff. So, thanks everybody for coming out. God bless. I will see you in the group. And if you have any questions, just shoot me a message on Messenger.